we'll go ahead and get started and be mindful of your time. I see some new faces and some returning. So thank you so much for your interest in the Community Leaders Advisory Meeting held by our Superintendent of Schools, Dr. Morcease J. Beasley. You'll have an opportunity for those of you who are newly joining us to share and exchange some critical information as we all work together to support our commitment to high performance. I won't delay the moment tonight because you have a lot of insightful information that our superintendent will share. So without further delay or ado, I will call our Superintendent of Schools, Dr. Morcease J. Beasley, to the podium. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Terry. Good evening, everyone. Thank you all for being here on this wet evening. Hopefully you've had a good day and you stayed dry all day. It seems like we've been going from meeting to meeting to meeting all day today. But at least we're getting done what we need to get done, right? Today is an opportunity for us to connect with our community leaders. And I often say that everybody's a leader in their own right. If you have one person following you, you are a what? A leader. And so community leaders is our open forum for those who have been identified, whether self-identified or identified by your peers or your community, that you have influence. And frankly, we just need you to hear what we're doing, provide us feedback, and then take the message back to the community and let people know and inform people as to what we're doing to move our school system in the right direction. We have a presentation that we've been using this year. It's on the website, so if you would go to, if you're interested, if you would go to the website. On the left side of the website, there's a link for critical conversations. If you hit that link, it takes you directly to the presentation. And not only do you see the presentation, but all of the meetings that we've had so far that have been recorded are listed there as well. In case you just have nothing to do, nothing's on television you want to watch, you just gotta be in front of the screen. You can go there and watch all the videos from all the meetings. But what I'd like to do very quickly, in respect of the time, I'd like to just go since this is our first community leaders advisory, what I'd like to do is to go over the vision, mission, goals that we have, and just do some highlights of the work that's occurring in the schools, highlight a few successes. I have the team members here, and clearly they're here to engage and answer, respond to any questions that you may have. But our goal, intention today is really to just keep you informed, and we want you, clearly in your role, to feel free to ask any questions, give us feedback, but to take the information back to your respective groups and communities and share the information. It is so important that we inform, we share, and we get more people acknowledging, if you will, the work and contributing to the work that we're doing in our school system. But our vision is very clear. In sum, we want to be a high-performing school system. And we know that takes a lot of work. We know that that's a pretty lofty goal or vision. But we believe that we have the potential and we have the right strategy and we've got the right people in order to do that. We believe that our kids are ready for it. We believe that our community is ready to be a high-performing school system. And honestly, we just expect that of ourselves, period. If we're going to do this work, and we're going to do it well. If we're going to be, I guess, classified or in any way, or if we have to compete, we're going to compete and win. If we're going to be categorized or grouped with any other school system or compared to any other school system, then it's our intention that we come out very well in that comparison. And so our goal is to be a high-performing school system in every way, Our mission is clear. We're working every day with our students to help them achieve their personal and academic goals. Our students are working every day to improve in their reading, their math, their science, their social studies, their critical thinking, what we call the 4 C's, critical thinking, creativity, collaboration, and communication. They're writing more, they're reading more, they're doing what we would expect our students to do and do it more often in all of our schools. Our goals are very clear. We have 5 goals, and those 5 goals speak to the work that we're doing. The first goal is related to student achievement. We've got to ensure that all of our students are proficient on state assessments. But we don't just want to stop at state assessments. Our team is also looking at national data, and the national data that we have will be at SAT, ACT, college entrance data. But we're also looking at some international assessments because we want to know that our students are competitive. Number 2, we want to ensure that we provide a safe environment for all students to learn. And so we have a very strong focus on positive cultures and environments in all of our schools. We have a very high expectations relative to discipline in our schools. We expect teachers to teach. And if teachers are going to teach, then we need students to come to school and behave, period. And whatever that means, whatever that takes, then we're going to work toward that. Number 3, we want to ensure that we're actively engaging our community. And that's why we have forums like this, because we want our community to be engaged. If anyone is not engaged, it's not because they were not afforded the opportunity to be engaged. It does take a commitment, just like it takes a commitment on our part to plan and conduct these opportunities. It takes a commitment on anyone's part who desires to be engaged to participate. And this is one of many. The schedule, again, is out there. If you go to that link that I shared earlier, the schedule is there for your benefit. And then number 4, we want to provide timely support to our students. We realize that they need academic support, they need non-academic support. There are sometimes issues that they deal with that impact how they learn in the classroom. And so our commitment is to ensure that they get the support that they need. And lastly, we want to work to recruit, train, retain highly qualified staff members in our school system. It's our commitment that in every classroom we have a highly qualified teacher. We have a teacher who reflects best practices, a teacher who highly engages the students, and a teacher who is knowledgeable of the content that they are expected to teach. We expect our principals to be knowledgeable, effective school leaders, understanding the complexity of running a school, but we expect it to be done very well. We expect of ourselves at the central office to be supportive of our principals, supportive of our teachers, to be competent. We expect ourselves to plan and to model what we expect to see at every school. Effective planning, effective execution of strategy, effective communication, mitigation of issues and problems, learning from issues and problems as not to repeat them, so we can always be more efficient, more effective in what we do. This year we've defined for our schools what high performance is. Last year you heard the theme, committed to high performance. This year we thought we'd be very clear what we mean when we use the term high performance. And so if you will take a second to look at the definition that we've shared widely, and again, it's on the PowerPoint, so you'll know exactly what it means. But the bottom line is this. We expect our schools to be healthy. We expect this organization to be healthy. And we expect our data to be improving. If it's achievement data in math or reading or ELA, English language arts, science, and social studies, we expect it to be improving. If it's attendance data, we expect our kids to come to school. If it's discipline data, we expect the incidents to be reduced. If it's employee morale, we expect to see increases in employee morale. Whatever the measure, the indicator is, we expect it to improve. Therefore, our strategies have got to be implemented in such a way, executed in such a way, that they're helping us to achieve those intended outcomes. Every school has got to improve. In order for this district to consistently improve, every school has got to improve. Therefore, the role of the principal is very important. The role of the assistant superintendent who supports the principal is very important. The role of the teacher is very important. And they've got to work together as a team. The only agenda that we have is ensuring that our students are learning at higher levels. Anything beyond that really is not our purpose. Not our purpose for being. We're going to produce high-performing students as measured by all the indicators, and we're going to do that very well. Now, will that take time? Of course it will. Of course it will. There are many variables that play into the educational process. Instructional quality, leadership quality. Poverty has some impacts that we have to deal with. Parents have a role that they have to play. Resources. We've got to access to opportunities. We've got to ensure that we have the right combination of those variables in order to consistently improve our school system. And that's the work of leadership. That's the work of leadership at the district level, the work of leadership at the school level, the work of leadership at the classroom level. It takes individuals who understand these complex variables, how they interact and interplay with each other in order to implement, execute, monitor, and even revise a strategy if it needs to be revised in order to achieve the intended outcomes or the desired outcomes. We have a strategic plan. Many of you that I see were involved in that process. Our board has approved the goals, and you just saw the vision, mission statement, the goals, the core beliefs. That strategic plan was implemented July 1st of this year. It's for the next 5 years. This information is available to all. We've shared it with all. We have performance objectives embedded within the strategic plan. And I'll just share very quickly what those objectives are. We expect for a minimum of 80% of our students to be proficient on state assessments within the next 5 years, a minimum. Right now, we've got about 25%. And so we've got to flip that data. We expect our grant rate to hit a minimum of 90%. That means every school, minimum of 90%. We expect discipline infractions to continue to decrease. All the top 10 that we're monitoring, we expect them to decrease. And we expect less students to be missing more than 10% of school. 10% of school is too much school to miss. And clearly, as a school system, as a community, we can't expect and say we have high expectations of our students and families don't require that their children come with to school. You just can't have it both ways. If education is important, then your actions have to be aligned to that expectation. If it's not important, then let's just be real about it and say, we really want education to be important, but we don't have a commitment because we won't make our children go to school. I'm pleased to share that in Clayton County, that is not an issue. And those who are having an issue with attendance, I am pleased to share that they are improving. And that's because the staff, principals, teachers, and all the teams are working diligently with those families to ensure that the right message is understood and the right expectations are understood, realizing that if we're going to hold schools accountable, if you're going to hold us accountable, the superintendent, the administration, principals, and teachers accountable, then the community has to do its part. It has to do its part. We don't mind accountability. That is not an issue with us. What we need is support in order to implement the strategies so we can maximize those outcomes. What I'd like you to do, you should have this document here. It's one that we prepared recently, but we're very pleased. It has an overview. You can see the vision, the mission statement. The schools are identified. You see the definition of high performance, the district goals, and the performance objectives are there. But I want you to see the first thing. How do we know that our strategy is working? We're working on teaching and learning, just so you know. I won't go into a lot of the details. But instructional quality is a big push for this administration. We've got to first ensure that we have a teacher in every classroom, and we have less than 100 vacancies right now. And when we have a teacher in the classroom, they've got to be the best teacher for the students. And therefore, we have very clear and high expectations of our teachers. We want our principals to hire well, and we want our teachers to teach well. So we have very clear expectations about instruction, about the strategies that we need to be using, high order thinking questions. We expect teachers to ask the right questions. We expect students to respond and also ask the right questions. We expect them to have academic discourse. They should be discussing the content. We should see students robustly engaged in conversations about what they're learning. And we expect our students to do close reading and evidence-based writing. We expect them to read and write every day in all content areas and all grade levels. Those are things that you would think they should be doing that. You'd be amazed at some folks who don't think writing is important. I don't know of a job that you work on that you are not required to write, whether to your colleagues or beyond the organization. And so writing is very important. We're working on culture and climate. We've got 30 schools now engaged in PBIS, positive behavior intervention and support, where they're actually changing the culture at their school. All schools are working on improving their culture and climate. They're getting training. We have coaching going on. Principals are getting feedback to move those schools to positive environments that children thrive in a healthy fashion. We have the circle of support in all of our schools, where the students have academic or non-academic needs, emotional wellness needs, mental wellness, whichever term you choose to use. That team can convene and ensure that that child is provided the support and the resources that we have available internally in the organization, and even recommend resources that may be externally available for our partners that we have in the school system. We're working on safety and security. You've already heard about the School Act. We do safety checks. All of these things, you say, which is the most important? They're all important because they all work together in order to produce a culture of high performance. We've got SPLOS going on. March 19th, write that date down. Hopefully you've heard. How many of you heard of March 19th already? If you've not, you should write that date down. The next vote for this community to decide whether or not it wants to continue with the SPLOS program is March 19th. This community has to decide. Does it want a new STEM high school? Does it want a new STEM middle school? Does it want a new STEM elementary school? Does it want a college and career academy? Does it want us to continue with the one-to-one initiative where every 3rd through 12th grader is getting a Chromebook? Does it want us to continue with those things? It will voice its desire on March 19th in a referendum for Clayton County SPLOS. Our community has to decide, does it want us to continue to buy new school buses? Because as the years go by, the old fleet, it costs a whole lot to repair, and eventually they stop working. Nothing is made to last forever. And so we've got to decide, our community has to decide if it wants these things. So how do we know if our strategies are working? That's the question. How do we know? Well, we'll know, and we do know, because our data is improving. If you see on the presentation, we're improving in most subjects and in most grade levels. We have some areas that sit maybe 1 or 2 points. Not a whole lot, and our strategy has been tweaked, and we're focusing in on the schools that may have had some challenges, whatever those challenges may be. But overall, we're improving. We've seen improvement in our reading, math, science, and social studies outcomes. Our grad rate, as identified on this document you have here, is improving. For the first time in the history of our school system, the grad rate is above 17%. Now you say, that's not a whole lot to brag about, but notice what I just said, for the first time in the history of the what? School system. And so last year was the first time we got everybody above 60%. Now we're above what? And guess what? All the schools, all the regular traditional high schools are above 70%. And so at the rate we're going, if we keep climbing at this rate every year, we'll meet the 90% goal within 5 years. Listen to this, we have 11 comprehensive high schools. 7 of the 11 are above 80%. 2 of the 7 are at 100% grad rate. The other 4 are in the 70s, and at the rate that they increase, I anticipate within a year or 2, they'll be well in their 80s. We have one high school, our alternative high school. We made it, it went from a program to a high school. It has a grad rate of 35%. And as you well know, those are students who have missed graduation, and many of them are inclined to drop out, but it's our effort to keep them in school, earning their diploma as they deal with life circumstances and situations. And so we're very pleased that the grad rate is improving. The governor just recently of failing schools, schools that are eligible for basically takeover, schools on his list. Clayton County had no schools on the list. Not one school on the list. I can assure you there are many metro large districts that had several schools on the list. Clayton County, again, had no schools on the list. The state released its list of schools in the lowest 5%. We had no schools on the list being in the lowest 5% in the state. On that same list, they identified schools that had a grad rate below 67%. We had no regular high schools. The only school we had on the list was Perry Academy, and we expected that to be the case because of the unique situation that Perry Academy exists for. And so we're very pleased. One school. We've had districts comparable or twice our size that had 10 and 11 and 12 and 14 schools. We only have one school. So we know we're doing the right work. We know we're doing the right work. The data is telling us discipline, that you'll see on the PowerPoint. Discipline. We monitor the top 10 infractions. All of the top 10 infractions have what? Decreased. While employee morale has increased, and oftentimes, sometimes you see a dip in discipline issues, you see a spike up in a spike down, if you will, in employee morale. So we're very pleased that our teachers believe that the strategies that we're employing are working. Is it perfect? No, it isn't working. But all these 55,000 plus children come to school every day, and we don't have any discipline concerns, then I'll tell you it's perfect. But it's not perfect. But I don't know a school system that has zero incidents of discipline. And so our goal is to improve it. If we can get close to perfect, we'll work toward that. But we're just working to improve it. Let's see. I think I've shared the data for the most part. Again, it's on the PowerPoint, so I don't want to read to you. But we've got school choice going on. We'll be implementing the International Baccalaureate program. We'll have a vertically articulated IB program. So not only will they get IB at the high school, but they'll get it at the middle schools that feed into the high school, and they'll get the IB program at the elementary school that feeds into the middle school program. So over some years, we'll see strengthened students, if you will, earning the International Baccalaureate diploma. We also are implementing the Cambridge program, vertically articulated, elementary, middle, and high school in 1 or 2 feeder patterns. We have several school options. You should know Drew High School is now a medical magnet. They will be opening up as a medical magnet in the fall of 2019. You should know that North Clayton High School is an early college academy magnet, which means that the students, similar to elite scholars, when they graduate from North Clayton High School, not only will they have the possibility of, surely will have their high school diploma, but they will also have the option of earning an associate degree as well, as similar to the students at elite scholars. We increased the number of kids who were participating in advanced placement and dual enrollment last year by about 700 students. At the same time, if you hadn't read, you should have, the AJC made sure they made a point writing about Clayton for whatever reason. Our ACT and SAT scores both improved. We had some schools had significant increases. We had a few schools that take a dip, so we're working to ensure that we don't take a dip. We're just ready to get them to move our district to a point where everybody improves every year consistently. Where you don't have most schools improving and some schools taking a dip. Because we believe that we can actually improve all schools and improve every year. We believe that with the strategies that we are employing. You should know we have dual immersion programs. Unidos or unidos, whichever word you use. Unidos? Unidos. Dual immersion. Spanish program. But listen to this. They were, in less than 3 years ago, they had a CCRPI score in the 50s. They were state chart, I believe. We took them under the wings. They lost their state charter. They came in under the district. We made some instructional enhancements, and now their CCRPI score is in the 80s in less than 3 years. If they can do it, can all schools do it? Yes, they can. So we have dual immersion Spanish in 2 schools now. We have one dual immersion French program opening up in the fall of 2019. And then we'll have a dual immersion Chinese opening in the fall of 2020. And we're consistently looking at options to offer our community. Because when you say you have high expectations, then your actions have to reflect that you have high expectations. And so you'll be hearing in January, so you all are here to get one of the first groups to hear this. Starting next year, rising 6th graders will all be taking accelerated math with the intention that by the time they get to 8th grade, they will be taking 8th grade algebra in our school system. The goal is, and we know algebra is a gatekeeper course, and so our intention is to ensure that our students have the opportunity to get to calculus before they graduate from high school. We're also looking at some other expectations relative to 7th graders and 5th graders to convey that we have high expectations of all students. Will we provide support for students? Of course we will. Will we provide training for teachers? Of course we will. That's why we're starting with the incoming or rising 6th graders, and over 2 years, it will give us time to support all of those students, train the teachers in preparation for algebra in the 8th grade in the fall of 2021. What else will we be doing? Next year, just expect this. All of your incoming 9th graders, expect them to have at least one AP course on their schedule. And so it will be our expectation that every 9th grader will have several choices for them, depending on their disposition or inclination. But it will be our expectation that all of our students are college and career ready. I don't know how you get college and career ready if you've never been exposed to a college level course. And so we're expecting them to read at high levels, and we've given them all a tool to know where they are and to work with the teachers during the instructional day and at home to increase their reading Lexile scores. And so our students, I'm pleased to say that our students are really working on it because they want to achieve at higher levels. So starting next year, all rising 9th graders will be expected to take some AP course, and that expectation will matriculate with them. So over the next 4 years, every senior will have a minimum, I'm hopeful, of 4 AP courses. I'm thinking 2 maybe, but I'm shooting for 4. 1 per year, a minimum. That's just our expectation. We know that our kids can do it. Our kids, our students are working diligently right now. It's our intention to rebrand what people think about our school system. And we're responsible as a community for doing that. We can't have high expectations for just a small group of our students and then expect everybody to somehow be college and career ready. It doesn't work that way. And so we've got to remove that conflict of expectations, and we've got to align our expectations and our actions so that all students understand high expectations. This information relative to the 6th graders in high school will be shared with the public in January because the team is working, finalizing, if you will, the details. You should know relative to uniforms, we will be making a recommendation to the Board of Education that our 9th through 12th graders are not expected to wear uniforms, but that they have dress expectations. And so K-8, kindergarten to 8th grade, will keep their uniforms. If they don't want to wear a uniform, then they need to make it to high school. But as I converse with the high school students, what I'm committed to doing is giving them a chance to dress as young people should dress appropriately without the expectation of uniform, but in exchange, they've got to meet these high academic expectations. Does that make sense, everybody? So they can't just ask or demand things. It's a relationship. We give, you give, and we get where we need to go as a community, as a school system. And so I'll pause here to see if you have any questions, any comments. I do need you to get the word out there about the SPLOS vote, March 19th. Ronnie is here if you want to talk to him about specifics about that. Dr. Lee is here if you want to talk to her specifically about teaching and learning. Dr. Simpson is here if you want to talk to him about anything going on in the schools. Dr. Wilson is here if you want to talk to him about what's happening with HR, retention. Rod is here if you want to talk to him about technology and the classroom refresh and the one-to-one initiative with Chromebooks. Dr. Nunez is here if you want to talk to her about special ed or student support services or the circle of support. We are here. I've got operations here. If you've got questions about facilities and issues there. We've got athletics here. If you want to know why Kevin is not producing me a state-winning football team. But we're here if you have questions. We're here to serve. We appreciate your questions. We appreciate your feedback. We appreciate you taking out time in your schedule to be here all today.
Beasley, have your first question.
Okay.
Hi, I'm a new member. I was looking on the website. I was wondering, is there a place where we can find the course offerings by grade level, or is that available? Just to get an idea of what the students have to choose from.
Good evening. It is in our course catalog hard copy, so it's not currently posted to the website.
Okay.
But it is provided to each student at the beginning of the school year. But we can have it, make sure it's linked to the website so that you can see.
Thank you.
And the one, I don't know if the ones for this year, for next year is completed because we're working on it. So we'll just make a note that once we get it finalized, students get it, we'll push it out as well on the website, okay?
And then we're probably making sure that each school has it on its individual website as well.
Okay.
Thank you.
Good evening, Dr. Beasley. I have heard something about Morrow High School being taken away.
Morrow High School being taken away.
Yeah, and maybe replaced with a college and career center. So I'd like to get some clarification on that.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
if it does go away, where would those students go?
Very good question. So, Morrow High School will be getting a new high school, and the new high school will be located on the campus where East Clayton Elementary School is located. The new East Clayton. Have you been to the new facility? There are how many acres over there, Ronnie?
115 acres.
115 acres. And so it was purchased for an elementary, middle, and high school. Now, I don't think we'll do a middle school over there, but we will put the new Morrow High School over there. And it's going to be a STEM school, state-of-the-art. And we're considering right now taking the old Morrow High School and renovating it to be a college and career academy where we bring students from every high school to participate in certain career pathways. And it won't be, I'm thinking, no more than 1,100 students per semester, 1,200 students per semester. They'll come from every high school. And we're still deciding on what pathways we'll offer there. But those will be some very innovative pathways that will not be duplicating what the schools offer, but these will be new pathways that our school system will offer.
They will no longer be called Morrow.
It will not be called Morrow High School. Morrow High School, the name Morrow High School will be with Morrow High School on the new campus.
I see.
Mhm. You're welcome. But remember, in order to get that Morrow High School, we need lots of money. March 19th, right? All right.
My grandmother graduated from there, so when I told her it was going away, I was devastated.
So hopefully you can let her know it's not going away. We're just building a new one. You're welcome.
Hello, Superintendent.
Hello.
Carla Russell, member of nonprofit My Brother's House, MBH, mentorships and tutoring. I just had two comments. One positive, I'm glad that the high school students will possibly be able to wear regular clothes so they can learn how to dress appropriately for the real world.
You said regular clothes.
Regular clothes, or non-uniform. Every time there was a survey out, I always put on there, let them come out of uniform. And I like the way, like you said, we have to give and take. They have to earn. As far as SPLOS, I would like to see going forward, and it's involved in your process already, but I just want to see, whereas not just the higher level students or the students that are personally, right now ready to take on the college level courses, for us to put emphasis, and I'm sure we are, but I hear a lot of STEM, and I hear all the college, and special ed for 25 years, so I'd like to see more emphasis with building and money and things going for students to help them, the lower functioning students, to reach those, their realistic, their goals, their max. I'm not sure what that would look like, but college and career. A lot of times I see admission statements, college and or. I prefer that because some students, due to mental capabilities, just, and as we know, you can make good money, not necessarily going to college. So that might look more like vocational. Throughout the years, I've seen it decrease. Vocational classes offerings. I'd like to see us go back to focusing on some of those.
Thank you for sharing. You should know that this year, we had increased efforts with getting a lot of our kids with special needs connected to, what's that, Georgia Vocational, I think it's called Georgia Votech for rehab. And so they're getting the work support, the work-ready skills, etc. And so I think that you'll be pleased with the number of kids at all the various high schools that are getting more connected, working with our vocational staff members, getting them connected to those opportunities. Actually, connecting them to employers who they can get those skills on site as well. And so, yes, they're getting the academic support, and we don't exclude kids. When I say all kids, I mean all kids. All kids. But there are some services that are available to students who are identified as in need of certain services, special ed services, and we're maximizing those opportunities for our kids this year. So I'm very pleased, as a matter of fact, that the special ed department shared with me an update the other day that showed me the number of students at every school that was actually getting connected to those services. It's a big improvement over previous years.
Hi, Dr. Beasley. I have a question. I know we have some high expectations for our schools and kids in Clayton County, but I know that there is currently an issue with retaining good quality teachers. What do we have in store? Because right now we can't even keep good bus drivers to get them to school. So what do we have in store to not just retain, but draw those teachers that will stay in the county?
Well, let Dr. Wilson come. He's the one tasked with working with all of us on retention, recruitment and retention.
Thank you for the question. Ask the question. Okay, great. Thank you for that question. This year, we did establish a retention task force whereby we're looking at how do we retain quality teachers. Last school year, we retained all employees, not just teachers. Last school year, we retained about 86% of our employees that we hired from the beginning of the year to the end of the year. What we've realized is that there's not really a shortage of teachers. The challenge we have is retaining the teachers and the employees that we have. So the work of the retention task force is really grassroots efforts from looking at how we onboard, how we recruit, how do we onboard them, how do we train them, so that the entire employee experience, we're looking at that from the 7 steps of the onboarding process to make certain that we have all those steps right. I will say that it's not a quick fix. You're talking about 7,400 employees, so we're starting with our teachers to make certain that we have that core group in place. But over the next month, you'll hear more about the results of work coming out of the task force. In reference to bus drivers, we actually have a meeting tomorrow to talk about what can we do to better our situation with bus drivers. Not, making light of our situation, but it's a state issue, a nationwide issue in terms of retaining bus drivers. I did a survey about 2 weeks ago, a survey called other districts, and their challenge is very similar to ours, that, we can't figure out how to retain them because a lot of the private corporations, the MARTA, the UPSs, they are taking them and paying them $50,000, $60,000 a year. So we're working on it. And I'll just add, as Dr. Wilson shared, it really is a challenge for all of us to grapple with relative to bus drivers because we train them, like we'll bring them in and we'll train them to get their CDL licenses. They may stay with us for 9 months, a year, but then right now logistics is a big industry. And so people are offering them salaries that clearly school systems can't pay right now. And do you blame them for leaving? And so we're working internally to figure out how we can actually compete, if you will, with that demand of these clearly trained individuals. And we train them, but the industry beyond the school systems are really offering them some competitive salaries. And I'll say this about teacher retention. Retention is all about responsibility. And that's why I tell the principals, I tell the community leaders, everybody has to understand that if your children attend school in the Metro Atlanta area, teachers who work in the Metro Atlanta area, they have options. We are one of the competitive districts in salaries. I think we're number 2 or 3. That's why it's not necessarily salaries. It's culture, it's leadership, it's discipline, it's all of that. Superintendent, it matters. It matters, and that's why we take full responsibility. But I tell parents that we're not careful because of what's happening in our nation. The schools of education, they're not producing as many teachers as they used to. You know why? I'll tell you why. Because a lot of young folk, they see how other young people act, and they are not going to school to deal with that. I've asked my own children to be educators, and they say, Daddy, we can't do it. I said, why? My daughter said, do you know I'll be in jail if those kids do to me what I see them do to other teachers? So we've got to work with our families to understand if we're not careful, we'll have a situation, that's why this is so important to us. We'll have a situation where you'll have other counties, they have the teachers that they need to have. Our children will be sitting with substitutes. Why? Not because we can't pay them well, it's because they perceive that our children are unruly and undisciplined. That is important, and so that's why we have high expectations, and we're working with principals and teachers and all to make sure that we address that. We're working with families, we got to address that. Things that we smile at when the children at home growing up, they're not smileable in the classroom. And so that's a reality that we all have got to agree that we've got to make sure that our children understand we can't be running away our teachers because they want to be disrespectful.
I agree, but just like we have high expectations of them in the classroom in our schools, go to Gwinnett County. When I was up there, they have high expectations of how their students are to conduct themselves as well, not being disrespectful.
That's correct.
So I think we should put that in too. But
I would say that we are. That's why we're seeing the increases, the improvements in discipline as we're seeing in our district. But we're working to improve our entire culture and our entire climate within our community.
and second one is the easy one. I'm with the county, and I've seen different internships on the website, but I've not seen a link to Clayton County Schools where some of our students that are in those schools producing are taking advantage of the internships that the county offers. Why is that?
Well, that's a good question. Right now, we have a big marketing piece going on where we have part of businesses who are submitting to us their information to offer internships, and we have students signing up for internships. So if there's a gap, we need to figure out exactly what you say is out there that we may not know about. And I tell people all the time, especially if you say the county, I don't know who in the county is responsible for that, but we need to make sure that we're getting that information. If we can make sure we're getting that information, or if you can let someone here know where that website is, we'll get that information to our students. We are seeing more of our students participate in those opportunities because we're closing the gap with the information. The chamber is getting our information out to their businesses. They know exactly when we market, if you will, these opportunities and extend to businesses the opportunities for interns, they are responding to us. And so that's an area that we have closed, but it sounds like you may know of another opportunity that we may not know about. We need to make sure we get that information so we can get it to the right people, okay?
Hello, my name is Melinda. This is my son. He's a fifth grade over at East Clayton. But
The new school.
I do agree. We do have some teachers that possibly leave or don't want to enter the field because of the students' behavioral issues. A lot of those stem from trauma, mental, and behavioral disorders. What is the district doing to help remedy that, or what resources do we have, or can we expand the relationship we have with the Community Service Board for Georgia Apex?
Good question. So I'll let Dr. Nunez speak to what we're doing as a system to address mental wellness in our school district.
Good evening. Thank you for the question. The first thing that we did is that we created what we decided to call the Circle of Support. And basically that is that all the support staff work together and connect to help the students. That is using collaboration, communication, and a platform where they discuss data and troubleshoot to support the students. Using that as an anchor, we developed a mental health and wellness model. As a matter of fact, the principals have the opportunity today to hear a presentation in relation to how that is going to work and how we are going to refer students to support. After we exhaust all the supports that we have within the district, how do we refer students out to community service providers that can help us as well with the wellness, the behavioral health of our students. And working all together, we understand that we need to address that concern, because as we look at our data, we see that today in society, we have more and more students that are reporting. The students themselves are reporting their concerns and their behavior needs. So we are very focused on addressing those concerns and working, as I said, in collaboration with the school leadership and teachers and counselors, behavior intervention specialists, psychology, special education, in order to provide the needed supports and to address those concerns.
So the Georgia Apex program, is that in Clayton County? The Georgia Apex program.
It's one of many.
Yes.
It does have certain schools that it serves, but it's one of many. We have right now a list of about 62 providers that we are working to basically utilize to provide services beyond what the school system can support. But the Georgia Apex is one grant through the Clayton Board, I believe, one of many opportunities in our school system.
Is that in school-based, those programs that you're referring to?
Some are school within the school, and some the parents have to make a decision to go actually to Apex.
Good afternoon. I'm Sid Cox. I'm with the Clayton County Council of PTAs. I only have one question. What PTAs have been seeing lately is a lot of homeless children at the middle school and the high school level. So what I want to know, are there any programs or how is the district addressing that? I know what we're doing. We're trying to provide uniforms, a little bit of extra money, trying to find them someplace to stay. We have, in the high school level, probably 5 or 6 guys that are staying in one apartment. They're working jobs and trying to pay the rent, which, you know, for 16 to 18-year-olds sounds like trouble to me. And I just want to know, what is the district trying to do about that?
Well, I'll just say, and I'll pitch it to Dr. Nunez, our homeless department, led by Sonia Davis, is a very robust, engaged department. And so whenever we identify someone as homeless, they get services. They do get those services. I don't know if Dr. Nunez wants to add anything, but they do get services. If we need to, we can, if you know of students who are homeless, if you can let us know, Sonia's going to work diligently with those principals to ensure, and those counselors to ensure those kids get the services that they deserve.
Okay.
And so, and I think we should all be mindful that this time of the year, we normally see an increase in homelessness, and we're seeing it among sometimes our older kids, because sometimes families are just getting tired of certain things, or they're having challenges, and sometimes kids are just trying to get out there on their own. But know that we do have resources available. And so again, if you work with your principals or let us know, those principals and counselors, they'll work with Sonia Davis to ensure they get the services that they deserve. And you said, Dr. Nunez said we have a good focus on the grad rate for the students who are identified as homeless. And so we clearly want to continue to support them so that they can remain in school. But we also know they have many other needs as well.
We try to help with that.
Good.
Dr. Beasley, I have a couple of questions. First of all, AP teachers, how are they selected versus non-AP teachers?
AP teachers. Right now, most principals will select the AP teachers. More than likely, they'll have a master's degree, so they can know the content, and then they are trained. They have to participate in the AP Institute, Summer Institute, and so, and I want to say that they have to go through that institute every so often, every 2 years, and so our goal is to get more teachers AP trained. We've been working toward that.
My next question is there a mechanism that gets fed back to you and your folks to say whether or not a graduate was in fact ready for college, say at the end of their freshman year?
That's a great question. There are mechanisms, but they only work if the students enroll in school in the state of Georgia. And so we do get data as a school system in Georgia. We get data that tells us whether or not our graduates needed remediation or not. And so, but again, that's only if they attend school where? In the state of Georgia. So we don't know what happens if they leave the state of Georgia. Well, Dr. Lee was just sharing that we have our own internal readiness indicator, Lexhouse scores. In the SAT, ACT, they define readiness by certain courses, and so we're looking at that as well. But that varies. ACT has a certain indicator for readiness, college readiness, ACT does, and then our Achieve 3000 also has its own indicator based on Lexhouse scores.
Our SEL, I know we just started, what's the status, what's the
SEL?
expected, yeah.
Social emotional learning, love those acronyms. So I'll just pitch it, Dr. Simpson, you want to mention SEL? Dr. Simpson has been working closely to address culture and climate, SEL this year. Jamie may want to mention what we're doing with onboarding, but all of our teachers are getting some SEL training.
Yes, thank you. So we identified, and by way of the data, a number of schools, well, a number of issues, to be specific, that were occurring in our school. When we looked at the data, and this was presented to us by the Department of the Division of Equity and Employment. We looked at some issues as it relates to teacher and student inappropriateness, where teachers had made some decisions, obviously, that weren't in accordance with what our expectations are. Let me give you an example. A student making physical contact with a teacher making physical contact with a student. Any types of incidents as it relates to that were identified in specific schools, that's what we rolled out module 1. The first module, which included a number of things from the falls under the social emotional category, from implicit bias, cultural sensitive pedagogy, trauma-informed classrooms, cultural sensitivity, cultural awareness, restorative practices. That is what we define and determine as a tool belt for a teacher. So it's important for a teacher to be able to recognize and identify what challenges a student may display in a classroom. It's easy to assume that inappropriateness could be a discipline problem. But a discipline problem could also be precipitated by a mental illness. So what happens typically if we are as adults, if we have some mental illness challenges, we don't go to the jail. But if they happen to break the law and they're approached by a police officer takes them to the jail. Well, it's almost similar to what happens in the school. A child displays inappropriate behavior in the classroom, we call the contact the assistant principal for discipline. But we have counselors in the school. We have circle of support. We have first responders who are now trained to identify and decipher as it relates to whether a child is displaying issues related to a mental illness that would have precipitated, obviously, a discipline problem. So our teachers will be trained, and the goal is to train every adult that touches a child. Cafeteria workers, bus drivers, custodians, because it's important for them to be able to identify that. So with Module 1 rolling out, and there's a number of schools associated with that. And then we'll move to the other Module 2 where there's a number of other schools and the teachers will be engaged in that training as well. So ultimately, our goal is to train any and everyone that touches a child what this whole social emotional framework, we call it social emotional responsiveness. That's what we've identified as. And it's just making sure that our teachers are equipped to be able to address and deal with the challenges that our children bring to the students.
Okay. Well, thank you all for the great questions, feedback. We're here. You know how to reach us. You don't have to wait to this meeting. You can always email any of us, myself included. If it's something that I need to pitch to the other team members, I'll send it to them. But just know that you have access to us. We're here to serve. We're honored to serve. And we're working on the right work. And we're going in the right direction. We appreciate your support as we work on the right work and demonstrate to our community that we are committed to high performance. Thanks, everybody, and get home safely.